Normally, the conversation is Buckeye fans being a little upset because another school flipped a Buckeye commit. But now the Buckeyes are trying to get into the mix and flip a Florida commit, a defensive lineman in Amaris Williams, and get him to come play football in Columbus. And Brian, when I was watching this guy play, I felt for the guy that was on the receiving end of a brutal hit, because when Amaris Williams hits you, you feel it.
He might be the best all-around defensive lineman in the country. You can make that argument. He's the rare kid that's above 270 pounds that can play on the edge, and legitimately so, on 1st and 10 or 3rd and 10. Those are the rarest of the rare, and as the saying goes, they usually get paid. His high school film, I haven't even watched his senior film, and I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't need to.
Yeah, right.
The junior film, we were good.
Yeah.
He was a top 100 kid as a junior. You know, barring him getting in trouble or doing something dumb off the field, he's going to get paid. So now the only question is, where does he go in the meantime before he goes to that thing they call the NFL, or I like to call the not for long?
Yeah.
Right now he's committed to Florida, and they got him pretty early. But I know, especially since Florida's, let's be honest, not very good.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of teams are going to bang on that door trying to knock. They got a couple other kids. One I've heard they're going to lose in addition to him. It's not related to Ohio State, but they're in some trouble because their recruiting class, you know, they're looking at they watch these games too.
Yeah.
Florida's got problems, brother. So Kentucky laid the hammer. If you get the hammer laid to you by Kentucky, it's not going to end well on the recruiting trail. It's not. My only question with him is, and this is for any school, not just Ohio State, Amaris is coveted by everybody. Which school or schools does he take an official
Correct
down the stretch?
Correct.
I don't know. I don't know the kid. I don't know his coach. I don't cover Carolina that much, but he's such a rare player at his size and athleticism. Like, he can break down and move around like a 230-pound guy. He's 280-ish, give or take. That's what you're looking for. The schools that get him on campus, I can guarantee you it'll be the red carpet, because he can come in and play. He's one of those guys that can be featured when ABC does a night game between Penn State and Ohio, something like that. He's one of those guys. So Buckeyes would do quite well to get him on campus.
You know, it's interesting that you mentioned how early Florida got him, because Florida, I do believe, got him in the summer, this past summer.
That's right.
Got a commit from him. The Buckeyes offered him earlier this month. And so I love Larry Johnson. And there have been a lot of people that have been very critical of Larry Johnson and how he's coached and how he's been over the past few years, lack of production in different areas. He's gotten some really good play from Tyleik Williams and Tuimoloau and Michael Hall Jr. this year. Even Jack Sawyer, who I have been critical of, has made some plays where I'm like, okay, so I see what you can do. Now let's do it consistently. So for a guy like Williams, who is trying to decide, am I going to stay in Gainesville or play football in Gainesville, or decommit and maybe commit to Ohio State, what we're seeing from Ohio State's defense as a whole, but specifically a defensive line, might be a big recruiting tool that Larry Johnson has, saying, I got guys that are doing this right now. You can play inside at 3 tech. You can play outside and do exactly what you've been doing in North Carolina at a big school like Ohio State.
It's not a hard pitch to sell Ohio State. First off, let's just start with the baseline.
Correct.
They spend more money, other than maybe Texas, on football than anybody in the country. It's kind of a back and forth. The facilities, the tradition, the fans, and Larry's a famous coach. I can't imagine that's hard. So that's kind of why I brought up the official visit thing.
Yes.
Like, you would think if he, and I don't know if he's really seriously looking, but I assume he is, or these offers and that the conversations wouldn't be around. You would think he would go to a game. Maybe it's Penn State game. Hell, I don't know. But yeah, I can't imagine him not being interested. He wouldn't be human, would he?
Right.
You know, it's freaking Ohio State. It's not that rough. But at the same time, you still got to get him up there and do it. My only question is, why didn't they offer him earlier? If they didn't think he had interest. I'm never going to get a full answer on that. But if they'd have offered him in May, we probably have a different conversation. So we'll see how it goes. But they need one more piece to their D-line class at least. And this guy kind of solves more than one anyway, because again, he can play edge or inside. He's a rare guy.
At 6'3", 270, I did look this up, and we talked earlier about 40-yard dash times and how we both kind of view them. But this is a rare one. At 6'3", 270, he's explosive. He got second place in the shot put during his junior year at almost 52 feet. Like, this dude's okay. You got show some explosiveness. 270, maybe 255, whatever it might be, running a 4.7 40. That's not normal, but he also played tight end, running back, and even all along the defensive line in college. Not playing tight end at Ohio State or in college. I don't think he'll be running back either. But just that versatility and the speed and the explosiveness that he has off the field, he easily translates that onto the field. I say all that to say this. Do you see him more being a 3-tech in college or a guy who gets bumped outside occasionally in passing downs?
Depends on if it's a 3 or 4 man line.
Yes.
I don't think it matters. He's the rare guy that he's got enough length that he can still play edge. I'm sure on passing downs, if you're a 4-3 defensive kind of mindset as a coordinator, you'd rather have him inside because not many guards are going to handle that.
Correct.
That's how I would do it. But then it would just come down to matchups. If they've got an off like a right tackle that's struggling, hey, it's going to be a long day, brother.
Yeah.
This is Amaris. He's coming. It's up to you. You want to put a tight end over there? You want to screw up your passing routes? Otherwise, your quarterback's going to be sore. What you going to do?
You're exactly right. Do you have any last comments either about Javen Boggs or Amaris Williams, or maybe even Ohio State and how they're playing this year that you want to leave the people with during today's show?
Your point about flip season is very important. We're going into an era where it's just like, especially where I live in Florida, there's no such thing as a commitment down here. It's ridiculous. Look for Ohio State to be in the middle of that and more all the way through December 20th, good and bad. It's just the nature of the beast, especially with the top 100, top 150 kind of kids. I mean, even Jeremiah, I can't say for sure he's going to go to Ohio State. I think he will, but there's just no locks with this stuff. Pay pretty close attention to what they do and not what they say, meaning visits. That's why I brought that up a couple of times. That's the sure tell sign. And I've lost track of how many I've missed this year. And I usually am really good about predicting. They're keeping me off guard. So It's going to be a fun finish to recruiting.